In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Guess who's back? Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
Pumpkin spice season is back, and I have a question for you. What do you think it is? Is it a trend or is it tradition? In this video, I'm going to take you through how the pumpkin spice craze began, the psychology of why it's so popular, and at the end, I have a special pumpkin spice recipe for you. To understand how the pumpkin spice craze got its spark, we need to travel to Seattle and back to Christmas 2002. Now, for the winter of 2002, Starbucks had released a number of flavored drinks. They released like peppermint mocha and the eggnog latte, and they were massively successful. Fast forward to the spring of 2003, and Starbucks was looking to formulate its next big success. Here's where it gets interesting. At Starbucks headquarters in Seattle on the 7th floor, there was a secure research and development lab, commonly known as the Liquid Lab, and there was a team busy in there coming up with what would become the pumpkin spice latte. Now, there was a project manager who had been with Starbucks for about 2 years named Peter Dukes, who came up with the idea to flavor it pumpkin. And Peter Dukes has given public interviews where he's explained that he would just bring in a bunch of pies. They would cut them up and throw them in some espresso, and they kept testing it until they found one that they liked. By October 2003, Peter and his team were confident they'd found a winning recipe. So confident, Starbucks decided to test it out. They put it into 100 Starbucks stores between Vancouver, British Columbia, and Canada, and Washington, D.C. The trial of the pumpkin spice latte was such a sensation that Starbucks decided to roll it out to all stores. The pumpkin spice latte was then officially launched by Starbucks in October 2004 across the US and Canada. The new beverage was an instant crowd puller, and by 2006, with the growth of social media, this was like pouring gasoline on the pumpkin spice craze. It took off like fire. The proliferation of sites and social media went from MySpace, which nobody really uses anymore, but Facebook was new and on the scene. You had Bebo and Friendster, and posting pictures of these beautiful drinks was trendy, and it helped fuel the pumpkin spice craze. I planned to make and release this video the week of Labor Day, thinking this was probably the start to pumpkin spice season, until I went to the Starbucks website and realized I was a little off the mark. Starbucks released the pumpkin spice latte this year on August 26th. I missed it. Now, in my defense, in my house, August 26th is a pretty big date. It's my niece's birthday. And everything is about baby girl on August 26th. But also, my niece is a good example. She was born in 2010. She's an example of the now generations of people being born who don't know what life was like before the pumpkin spice craze. So I have another question for you, my millennial friends, my Gen X friends, my baby boomer friends, and silent generation. I see you. I know you're watching. I'd like you to put in the comments your stories about what life was like before the pumpkin spice craze. Before we get into the psychology of why pumpkin spice is so popular, and I do have that pumpkin spice recipe still coming up for you, come along with me on a walk around Manhattan's Upper East Side as we investigate this season's arrival. We're walking Manhattan's Upper East Side today because, as this channel says, I'm a board-certified patient advocate, so I'm going to take you around where I go. I'm also going to show you the best-kept secret views of the East River and the Hudson River as we hunt down pumpkin spice. Now, Manhattan holds several world-class hospitals, including 2 that are directly across the street from each other on the Upper East Side, Weill Cornell Medical Center and Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. We're walking up to Weill Cornell Medical Center, with its roots founded in 1898. In 1913, Weill Cornell became affiliated with what is now New York Presbyterian Hospital. In 1932, the 2 institutions opened this building on Manhattan's Upper East Side, the building that we're walking into right now, to go see that best-kept secret view of the East River. The tower I'm standing in for these views houses the rooms for inpatient rehabilitation and outpatient physical therapy. We're walking out of Weill Cornell Medical Center. Let's go across the street to Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. I'll show you the view when we get there. Looking back across the street, you can see Weill Cornell, and as we turn, how close it is to Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. And this was formed in 1980 from the merger of Memorial Hospital for the Treatment of Cancer and Allied Diseases that was originally founded in 1884 with the adjacent Sloan Kettering Institute for Cancer Research, founded in 1945, although the two entities had collaborated since the 1960s. From this corner of York Ave, we're going to walk to Starbucks. There are several in the area, and we're heading north. As we walk, I want to take a moment to thank every one of you out there who are supporting and caring for a person who's going through medical treatment. Now, it's difficult on many people to go through medical treatment, and as a board-certified patient advocate, I think it's also important to acknowledge that it can be difficult on carers too. So thank you. And if pumpkin spice latte is one of your relaxation languages, we're coming up on one right here. We can see the placard out front. Let's get closer. And it's official. Pumpkin spice season has arrived. I have another secret insider view of New York City for you. Now, we've just been on the east side and seen secret, beautiful views from inside Weill Cornell of the East River. And now I feel it's appropriate that we have to check out the west side as well. You're looking at the upper west side, the west side of Central Park, and the Hudson River. Now, for this special view, we need to travel a little bit further north to 165th, where Columbia's Irving Medical Center is located. Now, when you go into the main building, which was recently refurbished, it has a Starbucks right there. So when you go to see your person who's having a treatment or maybe going through a surgery, you will walk right past the Starbucks. So again, if pumpkin spice is your relaxation language, you can pick up a cup. Now, I'm going to take you inside to see these views. You're looking at the Hudson River and the George Washington Bridge, and the room you're in is on a step-down ward for patients who have had surgery. Now, when I took this photo, I wasn't thinking like, ooh, I need to get the money shot because I'm going to put it in a YouTube video. So this is an obstructed view, but if you're walking on that surgical hall, some of the views are not obstructed, and they are absolutely stunning. Moving on to why pumpkin spice is so popular, and I still have the pumpkin spice recipe for you at the end. At the beginning of this video, I asked you, is pumpkin spice a trend or tradition? And the answer is, it started as a trend, but today, 20 years on, it's a tradition, and it's become a cultural tradition. It's part of our autumn season, just like Halloween and Thanksgiving. Some of the psychology for how Starbucks was able to be so successful has to do with nostalgia marketing. This is a promotional strategy that aims to invoke positive feelings with the past. What this means is every time you take a sip of the pumpkin spice latte, you're flooded with fond memories from the past. You're tasting grandmother's pumpkin pie. You're remembering being on that family Christmas trip to the mountains. Now, you can love Starbucks or you can hate them. You can have your opinion. It doesn't matter. The fact is, when it comes to the pumpkin spice latte campaign, this was pure genius. Not only did it make their drink a runaway success, but it set off a whole pumpkin spice craze. It's not just drinks anymore. Have you been to the store this week? I mean, it's everything. You could get little pumpkin dishes. You can get the accessories for your entire kitchen. More accessories for your kitchen. More accessories for your kitchen. It goes beyond your kitchen, but also you don't have to spend a fortune. I got this at the Dollar Tree. Little hack. Oh, and by the way, see this red sticker? They raised their price. Not $1 anymore, $1.50. But it's so cute. And you can have this for your entire house. And all of this is down to the fact that in 2004, Starbucks created and launched the pumpkin spiced latte. Another bit of psychology that's helping fuel the pumpkin spice craze is the scarcity principle. The fact is, pumpkin spice is only available certain months of the year. You can't get it whenever you want, unless you get my recipe at the end, and then you can make it whenever you want. But if you want to buy something in store or you want your pumpkin spice latte, you can only get it during certain months of the year. And in theory, the scarcity principle makes people buy when it's available. And by the way, we buy. Thanks to the pumpkin spice latte setting off this craze, the pumpkin spice industry globally is valued at the billions of dollars. This is my signature pumpkin spice recipe, and this is the amount that I use per pumpkin pie. So if you're making a different baked good like scones or a pumpkin bread, you might need to adjust it accordingly. But I use just 3 sort of foundational ingredients, which are the cinnamon, the ginger, and the cloves. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a half a teaspoon ground ginger, and 1/4 teaspoon ground cloves. Now, cloves are quite strong, so you're probably not going to go over a fourth of a teaspoon unless you really like cloves. There are 2 other ingredients that some pumpkin spice mixes include, and that is nutmeg and allspice. Now, nutmeg is like cloves. It's really strong. If you want to add this into your signature recipe, I would start with 1/8 of a teaspoon and work up from there until you get it to taste. And allspice as well, I just put a couple of shakes in there to start and work it up from there. And then you have your own personal signature pumpkin spice recipe that you can make and hand down in your family for generations to come. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up so other people can also discover it. And happy pumpkin spicing!